Yeah, it was 6 months of just us reading books and talking on the podcast, doing nothing. And people are like, what the fuck are you doing? Why aren't you working on Wall Street like everyone else making 150 grand? We're like, I don't know. We think this might be better. It's like, we're wrong. We're the most right people in the world. One day to the next. Welcome to the Smart Nonsense Podcast, where we talk about entrepreneurship, self-development, and challenging norms. Today, it's another episode. Who knows what number? We're shooting a lot. We're not releasing a lot. We got a lot of problems, a lot of bottlenecks. But that's
Pop, I got a problem, Pop. Challenging norm.
Problem.
You're getting a rabbit hole Fox News recommendation on YouTube. The algorithm has struck. The algorithm has struck. I came prepared. This news, breaking news, 10 minutes in. It was really a Joe Rogan clip, right?
Well, it's not a big gap to jump between the two.
No, it's not.
Joe Rogan. Next thing you know, you're in Peterson. Next thing you know, you're getting Fox News.
It just takes a 3% shift, like day over 1%. It's over.
I'm on the dark side. That's why I'm wearing all black.
You know what's crazy? Well, yeah, I don't want to get into it. It's just funny to me. Don't go too far, Pop.
I was like, boys, big day. My first Fox News recommendation.
Yeah.
No, dude, I was deep down the Ben Shapiro rabbit hole. I've been a lot worse.
It's actually, you're like Mr. You've been very liberal at times. You've been very conservative at times.
You can't track me.
You can't.
I still, you know, it's a great thing. I think I told this to you, but I went on some date with this girl, and the first thing she's like, oh, I saw some of your Instagram photos, and one was you at the Trump Tower, and you were like flicking it off. And she's like, thank God, I was worried you'd be conservative or something. I'm like, hey, thank God, huh?
I told you when that happened, like, I don't know. I don't like that was a signal for you or for her. But let's move on, because this isn't the nature of the podcast.
Hey, come on. What's the nature of the podcast?
Synthesis!
Hey, that was nice. I don't know how to give you a round of applause right now, but I've never seen a sales pitch hit 50K views on Johnny Yan channel.
I've never seen a Henry Belcaster 140 view vlog hit 50,000 views.
I know. This is the thing. It's like, what are we doing? Everyone's like, yo, we got to push YouTube. YouTube's the shit. And it's like, you can't grow on YouTube.
But here's the problem. We can go viral on Twitter. I can't grow on Twitter. There's no way. I guess you can follow.
What do you mean you can't grow?
There's no search. There's no, I don't know.
But Instagram is kind of nice because it's a little bit of best of both worlds.
Instagram. Granted, douche.
It's one of those things where like a view on a YouTube video is probably worth 10x a view on like Twitter or.
Oh, that's actually right. They've
some other platform.
Someone studied that. It's like the intent you get from a viewer on YouTube, they're way more bought in.
Right.
And, they're just all very different. Twitter's probably the most vapid. Instagram's a little bit more serious, and YouTube is high intent.
Well, that's what we're struggling with Dharmesh, for example, because he has like 200,000 plus Twitter followers, probably more than that on LinkedIn, but hardly any of them convert to YouTube. And it's just like, God, it's so hard to get people to go cross-platform, but you just rip it. You get a few retweets on Twitter, and next thing you know, you're at 50K. It's crazy.
And other than your Fox News rabbit hole algorithm, I feel like YouTube hasn't changed much in like 10 years. It's pretty like, I feel like it's a safe place to be as a creator once you've hit it.
Hey, you know what I liked? I liked all these people doing breakdown threads of your selling and marketing process.
So like, oh shit, dude, Ali Abdal's about to out. Does he have any questions? No, he said it's going to be a little bit late. I did not expect it to take on this life of like, oh, Henry Belcaster, here's how you close Olympic gold in closing deals, like commercial, like that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's one of those things where they do the breakdown and you're like, oh, you're right. This is really smart. But we're just like, hey, let's make a video.
Right. So this woman, I think Hannah, like one of the first notes in her thread was like, they're using their short form content to pitch their content to a prospective client. Like, how meta? And we're like, yeah, how meta?
That is meta. Hannah, you're hired.
I almost said that. I was like, Hannah, thank you for rationalizing everything we accidentally did.
I know, it just seems it's the thing you said. It's like, to the man with a video editor, everything's a video, or whatever it was. Like riffing off the man with a hammer. I know, but hey, thanks for the attribution. But hey, let me just pat myself on the back. No, but it's so true. It just seems so intuitive to us. Like, oh, let's make a video. Like everything is just let's make a video. But for everyone else, they're like, oh my God, this is world changing. And we're like, why wouldn't you make a video if that's what you're good at?
What's weird is this isn't the first time we've done this.
No.
B, each time we've done it, MFM, All In, and I believe Synthesis is the third, there was some version of a retweet from the person, you're hired.
Right.
Each time.
Right.
It's like, it's just the close.
I know, because what did Anna say here? You're hired. Who was the other? Chrisman was probably like some variation of that too. It's like so good you can't ignore them. It's
right. And then Michael, their head of marketing, commented on YouTube like, I'm 30 seconds in. Fuck, well played.
Yeah, right. Like, what are you going to do at that point? The shit goes viral and we're like telling you, hey, we're going to make viral clips for you. It's like, it's a no-brainer. And they didn't even know the terms. We're like, hey, the terms are different. They're like, fuck it. Let's figure it out. Like, let's rip.
I didn't understand that, but yeah. So Pop, this brings us to the point where we got on the phone after this all went down yesterday. And we're like, our last shareholder letter just went out and our goal, we were lost for a while and we're like, fuck it. It's in our calendar. Let's record the shareholder letter and honestly make something up. We're on this podcast. It was the worst fucking episode ever. And we're like drained. We're like, you know what? 10 for 10 for 10.
Dude, I love 10 for 10.
10 for 10 doing 30 for 30s clips.
Oh, okay. We gotta think more. It was probably like 5 episodes ago. I don't know the numbers.
So bad. I think it was a 2-hour episode or like hour.
It felt like it. I was leaning back like this. I'm like, what are we doing? I think it was one of our first ones going remote, and just the T meter when you're not in person is so much lower. It's a really high bar to bring it back up.
So bad.
But when you're not focused on T and being entertaining, you can actually think.
Imagine that.
We thought of something.
You understand why I do so much shallow work. I just have vlog loops in my head all day. I'm like, I gotta act. I gotta get the shot. Like, you can't think.
No, dude. I'm going and categorizing transactions from the last 6 months. I'm losing my mind over here.
That's your top level, huh? Top level goal today.
Top level. That's it. Max is out there. Yeah. So I don't know. You're going to make a point, but I kind of derailed it.
I was going to talk about our goal with the last shareholder letter, but you could take it over, Pop. I've been talking a lot.
Our goal, and hey, that's what's dope, was one of our mentors, Shane Mack, was like, yo, you guys have this crazy network. I don't know if you realize it, but like literally people are approaching us like, hey, can you share our shit just so we can be on the same stage as the people you're with? I'm like, oh, true. So we realized, let's take these people, make a mentor list, and we're going to email them updates twice a month. So once in the middle and once at the start of the month. And we're like, oh, that's a brilliant idea. We're like, what's our specialty? Video. Let's do 60-second quick highlight reel videos. This is where we're at. This is where we're going. We did a couple. We did one originally, and it was like, I forget what the fuck we said. Oh, we split the company into
two.
It was kind of a cool update. But the most recent one was, hey, we're going 10 for 10 for 10. That's 10 clips, each like a minute, for $10,000, and we want 10 clients by the end of the year.
That would be $1 million in ARR.
Million plus.
Million plus.
So we're like, that's a cool goal.
Hold on.
Set our sights on it.
We're on a phone call. You're like, okay, 10 for 10 for 10. We're plotting this. You're like, 10 for 10 for 10. We can do it in 6 months. And I'm like, yeah, we can do it in 6 months. You're like, wait a minute. What would Peter Thiel do? Half the time. Okay, 10 for 10 for 10 by end of year. Lo and behold, the shareholder letter.
We had to split it in half a couple more times because we're like, we might be able to do this by the next shareholder letter. Like, that shit is so sick to me. It's like one letter. Hey, we're launching 10 for 10 for 10, and we want to do it by the end of the year. Oh, guess what? We actually did it. And it's like fucking the very next letter.
It means so many things too, because $1 million ARR, that's product market fit. If there's not a better signal for product market fit, it's that milestone. So if it's like we committed to this thing and we did it in 2 weeks.
And we got there in 2 weeks.
And we did it on the line.
Right. See, that's what's crazy about this is now they're following our journey. They're invested. Whether they're commenting or not, half of them are, half of them aren't, but they're all seeing it. So you know that we make this semi-public declaration, hey, we're launching this. And the very next video, it's like, hey, we mean fucking business. We already sold out. Like, that shit's crazy.
Just like yesterday, I declared I'm a dopamine addict and I need to film a vlog on it this afternoon. I need to be held accountable for my actions.
Yeah,
that's just a negative one.
Bring us down.
Bring everything down. So 10 for 100. That's where we're going.
Right. I'm realizing, I'm like, okay, well, the enterprise version of this is just, hey, you're Colin, for example. Let's do 10 for 10 for 10 just with you. You have your 10 top people on your platform. We'll make all their content, give you that 20, well, it's more like a 17% discount on doing all the content. Boom. It's like, that's the enterprise version. It's just the 10 for 10 for 10. And we just tell that to you. And
HubSpot,
so now
10 for 10 for 10. Spotify, right. 10 for 10 for 10. I'm almost scared it's too much of a no-brainer. So we've got Patrick on the squad doing these crazy one-off random projects. I'm just throwing him in.
Oh,
they're not the most amazing thing we've ever done. And they're kind of like clip level, but he's selling to people.
Wait, was that
yeah.
The thing you just messaged me, Rohun? I
think it's Rohun. I've never actually spoken to him.
I think I've seen him on Twitter. Who is that dude?
I don't know, but he's on Twitter and he just started a podcast and he had the former CEO of GE on. He's like, hey, I wanted y'all to make a clip, but that shit blew the fuck up. What happened to you guys? And I felt bad again. And I was like, all right, fine, we'll do it. And he comes back and he's like, yeah.
Wait, so he made him a clip and then just for free?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Because I was like, it's, the former CEO of GE and Rohun's excited and needs some help starting a podcast and he's got 20,000 followers. I was like, why not?
Dude.
So I'm just wondering, 10 for 10 seems like a no-brainer. That's what we wanted. Now we have to blitz scale, I guess.
Actually, though, it's such a no-brainer. Like, people are making these snap decisions. They're like, hey, that roughly sounds like everyone has a marketing budget of like 10 grand. So they're like, okay, that's just, sure. We'll put
just
it there.
Keep us relevant on the internet.
I know. I'm getting all these messages now. I'm getting all these emails that are like, make my CEO viral. Like, make me viral. Like, literally, viral is coming up more and more. And I'm like, oh, right.
So I'm worried those are going to come from people who saw like my video on Twitter. And they're going to be like, these are the viral guys. Help us, I haven't read the email, but help make our CEO viral. And it's like, then we get trapped in all the production. Like, that was scripted. I shot that. Like, that's a lot. And that's an innovation stack of filming 120 vlogs. We don't want to be in the business of helping CEOs do that necessarily, but I think I skimmed the email and he was like, we record a bi-weekly thing. So it would just be clips anyway, which is exciting.
Hey, can you fucking...
But wait, sorry, here's the problem. Casey Neistat went viral with his Nike video. And then for 5 years, all anybody wanted him to do was make that Nike video, make it count over and over and over and over again.
You can't.
You can't.
Well, that's why I told you, I'm like, hey, Belky, you're doing this Ali Abdaal blitz. Don't, like, I know we're embracing our inner slut. Like, we're going from the prude to the now we work with everybody. But you don't want to ruin the romance of this was amazing. This was targeted at Synthesis. They were all stoked because it's so personal. And then the very next day, you're like, Ali, I actually want you now. And
that's right. And the pitch is similar.
Right.
It's got a funny twist because he DM'd us yesterday, but no, you're completely right. There was this kind of hero's journey on Twitter yesterday with me and the Synthesis folks. The deal closed publicly on Twitter.
Right. That is why it did well. It's the hero's journey.
Right. So all our other blitzes were an open story loop. This one closed publicly. Honest, like, dude, you're hired. And I have the screenshots of the emails. Like, here's what I did. Done. Signed. Send the invoice.
That's why this
we closed the story loop.
Well, it's like, okay, you're trying to, well, I guess, okay, you're the hero here. I don't know who the guide is, but it's like you encountered this problem of we almost sold them. Like we almost went through
There's
with
a
it.
lot though, because there's a hero's journey within my video, which is they are the hero. I am their guide. They have a problem, which is consistency.
Right.
This, that, or the other.
So it's like two stories baked into one.
Shit went viral.
You trying to be the mentor and you also being the hero of your own journey. Because it's like, hey, you didn't sell.
Right.
We're back. Fucking do this. And they're like, okay, let's do it. And then it's like it's a mini Disney movie.
Right. And you get teased failure. This guy, Henry, put himself out there. Is anybody going to watch this video? And you get success, which is in the thread. I've got the emails that say done, signed, invoice. It's a Disney movie. Pop, we making movies, Pop.
I can't believe it. I'm gonna watch it. You my little Ariel. I'm listening to Malcolm Gladwell talk about
hey,
The Little Mermaid.
You my little Ariel. I think it's Ariel.
Hey girl. Not the way I say it.
I had a point, Pop, and I think we're the transition guys. So
I like I wrote down this because I'm like constantly updating. I'm writing a book essentially as we go.
Right.
Like I'm just jotting down notes on every big takeaway we have. And that Hannah Girls thread, I was like, oh, these are a lot of great notes. But one of them is like, or one of the comments said, oh, you're just like the next Casey Neistat. It's like, yes. And now we're applying it to the business world. He was just applying it to his day-to-day vlog life. But we're like, let's take it and apply it to tech and startups and entrepreneurship. And it's just a whole different animal. So that's the beauty. It's like combining sales with Casey Neistat is just unstoppable.
It's hard to not watch a video that screams synthesis. What the shit?
Right.
In the first 5 seconds.
You joked about this, but like, hey, when are we going to teach Gen Z again? Okay, this is one of those lessons for Gen Z. Before I talked about how we tried watching the David Geffen video or whatever the fuck his name is. David, I forget, but
Finding David Geffen.
Yeah, terrible video because it just gets into like his mom's life story, and I'm like, I don't care about this. Who's the dude, and why should I care about him first? And now you just come in and you're like, you take all these building a story brand ideas and it's like, make them the hero of the story, speak right to them and just tell them what they need to do. And so Gen Z, this is literally the fucking like the template, and we're kind of incidentally pioneering it. I like how I can include myself in it, but like you're essentially pioneering it. And this is now our new focus, because if we remove ourselves from the business, like what's that quote? Like, don't work in it, work on it. We're kind of working on it, like on scaling it in terms of we're just the blitzers now. Like that's our specialty. People recognize your face. They recognize our brand, and we have a lot of followers now. So we can just specialize in blitz selling.
That's right.
That's all we do all day.
And product market fit, 1 million to 5 million is sales.
Right. And so before you jump in, my point is like, now we can just specialize in this. So if you thought we were good before, when we paid no attention to the blitz, it was just like an afterthought of, oh, maybe we make a video or maybe we make a couple and do some clips. Now it's just like, that's our number one goal for every day, is how do we improve the blitz process.
You know what's cool too is I told you, like, the way that video comes to be is me literally sitting here chugging a cup of crack and cranking out a script, and then I shot that for 23 minutes. Seems easy, but what's cool is we've read all these books. We've talked about all these things. We read Building a Story Brand. We implemented it. We put in the reps, make a vlog. I didn't on the front of my mind think about any of those things or frameworks or how to tell a story. It just, when you put in the reps and you get the feedback, it just starts happening.
Right. So it would be silly not to do that. Like, it's just like intuitive.
It becomes intuitive, which is cool. What's happening right now is we're like, we can't run this company. And I'm like, you're right. We can't. Let's get an operator. But then I realized what actually is happening is we're really good at 0 to 1 startups because we read every freaking book on 0 to 1. Now I'm reading books on management and being a CEO and running a company. And when you start to understand these things, I'm like, we can do this. We just didn't know. We don't know how. So it's it's just a different phase shift.
I remember you saying like your dream, at least a year ago, was like you want the studio, you want to just have a bunch of people tinkering on cool little ideas because you loved that 0 to 1, but you loved it because that's all we knew. We never had a real job going from 1 to 100. We didn't know what that was like, and now we're first experiencing it. Like, okay, we crossed this big threshold. It's actually might be kind of fun.
Right. So let me say, I equally loved waking up today, making 0 decisions, and seeing the team go absolutely bonkers on what they're working on. That's 1 to 100 stuff. Gene, roll it. So Jean just hops in, fills in for somebody else. We need some help on one team. And she just comes in, Chris too, and they just slam the style. She takes it up a notch. It's Vox, it's murder, mystery. It's crazy with no instruction.
That's what I texted you. I'm like, you realize we just surpassed Vox in 6 months. And this is the premier video editing platform. Like they would probably, I don't know their turnaround time, but I'm sure it's at least a month for their videos. And we do this in 2 days.
To get a 1 minute clip like that, I mean,
it's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. So I'm like, I would run that company. That's fun. These people, our team, this company, they're amazing. It's fun.
Right. Like the fun parts of the business for me is when we have that little blitz workout and people are like, hey, you guys are awesome. Like that makes me feel good. And then actually seeing our awesome content. Like that's cool when people tell us, but when we see that and it's indisputable that this is fucking incredible. And like, this is 6 months into building a company. Most companies don't get product market fit for like 6 years.
That's
I literally can't imagine. Like one of our clients, this channel is called The Untold on YouTube. They're about to kick it off probably by the time this is out. But he grew an agency for 10 years or tried to grow an agency for 10 years before he even like made money. He didn't have any success.
That's common. That's okay. Like that's probably how 90% of these things happen. I joined you because I saw that early product market fit that you had.
Is it? That's the only reason. In spite of all the difficulty. No, it's like, okay, what's interesting is, I don't know, it's kind of like a bunch of tweets in my head, but basically the exponential nature of everything. I put this in my book notes, but it's like people, it doesn't make sense for so long. And then one day it just clicks. And it's like, oh, that's it. Like for so long, we're barely scraping by. Well, it's so long, fucking 3 months or whatever. Even then.
But on our
kind of
time,
like month one. But okay, we never really had to scrape by. But like before the actual business.
We did for a year.
Like, yeah. Before AJ's clip was like, oh, there's something here. Before that happened. That was the initial seed. But yeah, it was 6 months of just us reading books and talking on the podcast, doing nothing. And people are like, what the fuck are you doing? Why aren't you working on Wall Street like everyone else making 150 grand? We're like, oh, I don't know. We think this might be better. And then it's like, we're wrong. We're the most right people in the world. One day to the next. It's literally like last week, we're barely breaking even. This week, it's a fucking super
you can hear it on the 10 for 10 episode. We were weeks. We're just like, this sucks.
We're lost. We're so lost.
Dude. You've been on vacation. I'm in the trenches. We're lost. All right, fuck it. 10 for 10. Boom. Couldn't be more right. It's like,
it's unbelievable.
And then that will wane, and there will be another thing. And it's this feedback loop. I told you that's so addictive of just like problem solution.
Yeah, problems.
Not product market fit. Product market fit. Not product market fit. Product market fit. What? It's so
that's
fun.
Why it's like, I saw a tweet yesterday that's like, hey, if you're not waking up excited, change what the fuck you're doing. Like, I can't wait to run over to my computer. I'm like, fucking, dude, I'm losing my shit every morning. Granted, it doesn't always feel like that, but now that we're we're specializing. Like before we were kind of running all of operations, but now when we have people just filling the roles that we don't want to do and we just do the fun stuff, or at least for us, I'm sure everyone.
So that's an important thing. And the great CEO within, people take issue with like outsourcing and delegating work. It's important to remember there are a lot of different personality types. And I might not like to input things in Excel all day long, but there is somebody that does and gets tremendous amount of joy from doing that. Right. And so it's good and okay to play to people's strengths and level up in that way.
Well, that's like me.
You and
I don't want to shoot
podcast.
vlogs. Yeah. I just, maybe one day, but like it would be pulling teeth for me to do it versus I love the podcast. And like, that's why I kind of gravitated towards this in the beginning and you gravitated towards shooting the vlogs in the beginning. Mm-hmm. One thing I wanted to say, I was thinking this morning, because you're telling me all this like 1 to 100 type stuff about decision making.
Take us home, Pop.
Yeah. Oh, fuck. We got to call him.
Take us home.
It was like everyone, like thinking of Jeff Bezos, for example. I don't know why he came up, but he's such a great capital allocator decision maker. Like he just wants to make 3 great decisions a day. And I'm like, oh, that'd be awesome if I could be as good a decision maker as him and like really push the company in the right direction. But I'm like, the world is actually beautiful in that it automatically accounts for that. So if you're a great decision maker, you're going to grow your company. And then you have a larger company and your decisions are more important and it grows even more. Whereas if you're a bad decision maker, your company is going to flop. So the people at the top are naturally going to be good decision makers, assuming they've run the course of the company, unless it was just they stumbled upon one great decision and kind of it succeeded in spite of that. But just the world rewards good decision makers. And that's what I realized. So if we're actually that good, then we should be.
That's it. We're dope. We're awesome decision makers. And you should watch us because we're awesome. All right, Pop. Good stuff. Yeah, go ahead.